there. My name's Chad Lacey. I'm a global sales strategist at AWS, and I'm joined with my good friend, Jeff.
Hey, Chad, thanks for having me. My name is Jeff Mershak. I'm a senior solutions architect for the DoD Air Force. And I wanted to introduce our good friend, Ahuva, who is our special guest today. Ahuva, can you introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, my name is Ahuva Khazan-Fuchs. I'm the Principal Product Manager of AWS Application Migration Service, also known as MGN.
So, Ahuva, really appreciate you being here. I know you've been working on something super cool. And I always love the area of application migration service. So the fact that you've got some new stuff to talk about, I would love it if you could share what you've been working on.
Sure. So MGN is an application migration service. What we do is we migrate servers and applications from any source environment, on-prem, other clouds, other AWS regions into AWS. And we do it pretty simply. You install an agent on each source server. The agent replicates your data into AWS, and then we launch instances running natively on EC2 with all of your information from your source machines. That's just a really high-level overview of what MGN does. We launched MGN last April, so about a year and a half ago. We're available in 22 commercial regions. And we've just launched at re:Invent 4 pretty cool features, which I would love to talk to you about. Want to hear more?
Yeah, please. I'm like, now you got me enticed because, you know, I've always loved the application migration service to begin with. So the fact you got new stuff, like, tell me about it.
Okay, so the first thing that we're launching is a feature called launch templates. When our customers use MGN, typically they're not doing it to migrate 1 or 2 servers. They're doing it because they want to migrate 50 servers, 100 servers, 1,000 servers. And for every server that you launch, there's an EC2 template that controls how the instance is launched. And a lot of our customers have told us they don't want to configure these EC2 templates one by one. If they're migrating 50, 100, 500 servers, they want to configure this in bulk. So we now support a launch template. It's a single launch template for MGN where you can choose the basic parameters, like the basic EC2 instance type, what time of the EBS volume you use, what's your default subnet for all of your servers. And we'll use that to create an EC2 launch template for each server based on the global template. So this global launch template is the first feature that we're launching at re:Invent. Beyond that, we're launching 2 related features. When our customers migrate servers into AWS, they're not interested in migrating servers, they're actually interested in migrating applications. So an application is typically a large application running on multiple, servers, and our customers want to migrate a full application with all the servers comprising it. We now support grouping servers into applications, performing bulk actions on those applications. And another grouping that customers are interested in is wave grouping. Many of our customers who have these large migrations plan their migration in waves. So maybe they have a first wave, which is small, and then continue as they learn the process with larger and larger waves. And they want to be able to migrate all servers in a wave together, see status, see dashboards, and MGN now supports also the concept of wave. So application grouping and wave grouping. And the final feature that we're launching at re:Invent is custom actions. We know our customers want to move and improve. They want to migrate their servers and applications, and then they want to do more in AWS where it's easy for them to do more. Maybe they want to install a CloudWatch agent to collect log files from all their servers. Maybe they want to install some tools. Maybe they want to upgrade a server or create an AMI for a launch instance. Those are all actions that can be done after you migrate a server into AWS. And MGN now automates that. And we support custom modernization actions post-launch, allowing you to configure multiple scripts to be executed in bulk automatically on all of your migrated servers. So those are our 3 pretty exciting launches at reInvent: the launch template, application and wave support, and custom actions.
That's cool. Ahuva, regarding the applications and waves, how many servers do you really need to migrate in order for these features to be valuable?
It depends on how you're managing your source environment. We want something that's convenient for our customers. So if really what you have on-prem are source servers that you're managing one by one, and that's convenient for you, by all means, continue to do that. But if really what you have on-prem are applications, groups of servers working together, the application feature is available to support you. And waves are useful for customers if you have large migrations. If you're only migrating 2 or 3 servers, just use MGN the way it is. But if you have 20 servers, 50 servers, 100 servers, 1,000 servers, that's when planning your migration progress is really important. And you'll definitely want to break that down into waves so that you know what you're doing at any one time. It's planned. You have your application owners available for the appropriate wave to validate what they're doing. So wave planning is really important for large migrations, but applications are useful if this reflects what you have in your source environment, which a lot of our customers do have applications.
That's super cool. So I want to jump back on something. You were talking about application modernization. And obviously, when you're migrating, it's an opportune time to see if there's any kind of modernization. And you mentioned that now the application migration service is supporting some of that. So what kind of actions does the modernization support?
Right. So many of our customers want to do more in AWS. They don't just want to move their applications as is into AWS.
Right.
So what we really recommend is move and improve. Migrate into AWS. Once you're in AWS, continue your modernization journey. And that could be quick things that take time, and it's really a journey. And our customers start by moving and then improving. So when I say that you could do custom actions, it's an integration with another AWS service called Systems Manager. So anything that can be written as a SSM document, a Systems Manager document, can be executed using MGN. Out of the box, they support 300 System Manager documents, but you can write any additional document that you want. It's similar to Python, and the sky's the limit. It depends on your imagination, on your needs, but anything that could be written as a Systems Manager document can be executed automatically in bulk by MGN.
I love that, Ahuva. So we've been talking about lift and shift for so long, but I'm going to steal that move and improve line. I hope you don't have that copyrighted, because I want that on a t-shirt now. We need time to move and improve.
I want one too.
So Ahuva, one of the first new features you talked about, the launch template. Didn't the migration service already have support for the template? And I know you mentioned it's just more improved now. Can you kind of talk the differences between the new template feature and what was already supported?
Okay, so MGN, of course, we work in the AWS ecosystem. So for every instance that we launch in EC2, an EC2 server or instance always has an EC2 launch template. So every server has its own EC2 launch template, and MGN always supported that. But now I'm talking about an account level launch template, which is the template for the template. So if you have 100 servers, each of those will have its own EC2 launch template. But how do you define the basis, the default settings that all of those launch templates, those EC2 launch templates, will inherit from? That's what we added, the account level default that we use to create the EC2 launch templates for each of the servers.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. The template for everything. Got it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
And this is one of our top requested feature requests by customers. They don't want to define 50, 100 EC2 launch templates by themselves. So we provide the template of the template, and that's where you define your system level defaults. And you can still go to each of the EC2 launch templates and customize something specific if that's your need. So we're not canceling that. We still continue to support that. We're just giving you account level option to make it easier for you to place.
So I think it's time to see a demo. This all sounds awesome, but I want to see it in action.
Yeah, let's see it.
Absolutely. Okay, so can you share my screen?
Yep, it should be coming up.
Okay. What
There
you
it
see
is.
now, this is the MGN console. So AWS Application Migration Service, the MGN console. The first thing that you do when you're using MGN is you go to each of your source servers and you install an agent on each of those source servers. In this source server list, you see a list of all of my servers that are now replicating into MGN because I've installed a client on them. So I want to start showing you the launch template. If I go to settings, I can look at my launch template. And again, these are my account level defaults to be used. For example, instance type right sizing. That's a feature that controls whether MGN automatically determines the right size instance to launch, or you want to control it manually and select your own instance type. Another feature, which is a global template, is specifying map tags. Many of the MGN customers also participate in the map program. They want to add a map tag to their instances to get the map credits. And that's another feature which you can enable on your account level using the MGN launch template. So this is the first feature. I'm going to show you an instance launch. I'm going to show you the results of this launch template. That's one feature. Another feature is the post-launch template. This is where you define the actions and custom actions to be executed on all of your servers. And in this case, I'm going to configure, or I have here configured, two separate actions that I want to execute on all of my instances. The first is disaster recovery. So I'm migrating my servers into AWS, and then I want to ensure resiliency by configuring a DR site for my servers, and I want to do it automatically. So I'm migrating all of my servers into AWS, and at the same time, installing a DR agent to replicate from, I'm currently in Ireland, replicate into US East, so I have a backup site. That's one action. And also I've defined here a custom action. Let's look at it a second. So this is a custom action to configure a CloudWatch event. I want to install the CloudWatch agent on my server. I'm activating it, enabling it. And now I have also this configure CloudWatch. So two actions that will be installed on my server. I have the DR for migration. I've got the CloudWatch. Those are the two to remember. And going back to my server list, I also want to group my servers into applications and into waves. So here I have these two instances. I grouped them into an application. If I go to my application, I can see these servers belonging to this application, but I can also see their status. In this case, all of my servers are no alerts, everything's fine. They're all test in progress, but the status can be different for different applications. And this is where I can see the global overview of what's happening. Sorry, this is the same application. Let me look at a different application. This is an application whose status, all resources are cut over. Some of them are disconnected. These are the status of my different applications. And I can also see here a list of applications, which wave they belong to, the migration status, what this application 6 hasn't started yet, application 5 is in progress, application 3 has completed, each have different numbers of servers. And I also defined a wave holding all of this. So if I go into my wave, I have a single wave, which started at a specific date. This wave has been going on for 5 days. And I have the health status of all of the applications and servers in my wave. And I also have migration status. So I can see that my wave is not yet complete. I have some applications that are still in progress. One is completed, one is not started. And I also have a source server view where I could drill down into the servers and I could see at the server level how many are being tested, how many are in cutover, what are ready for testing, what's disconnected. So a lot of information, including the list of servers in my wave, the list of applications in my wave. And this really helps. This is intended for your migration project administrator, the person who every morning they want to know what's going on. They open this wave overview, go into their dashboard and see the status at the application level and at the source server level. And this really aggregates everything that's going on. If you could imagine, in my case, I only have 20 servers. So I could also look at my servers and try to figure out, okay, it's mostly green, some of it is green, some of it is ready for testing, try to figure out the status. But by having this pie chart, it's much easier for me to wake up in the morning, open this first thing, check in, okay, everything looks okay, healthy, launched. If it was red, I wouldn't want to see that. There's a problem, but things are looking good.
Yeah, it's really neat to think of when you talk about waves and applications, but if you think bigger about that, you can think, okay, you can have like all of test be a wave, and so you can have 100 applications and wave one be test across all those applications. So it's neat to see how it scales out and makes things easier for large migrations.
Yeah,
absolutely. I could take, this is my wave, right? And it could have as many servers as I want. And I could choose at the wave level to launch test instances. And this is a bulk operation across my whole wave. And it's really a matter of convenience. I can do it at the wave level. I could do the same thing at the application level. I could take this application and this one is complete. So let's say I want to archive it. I can archive this application and it's done recursively on my whole application. It's gone, that's done. I can take this application, which is, actually this is an empty application. It doesn't have any servers, so I'm not going to do that one. But I can just take any, this application, and I see this is ready for testing, this is test in progress, ready for testing, and I could change their status. I also want to show you what happens when, I told you about the custom actions. Yeah. I want to show you the results of the custom actions. So here is, let's choose a server, which I happened to prepare ahead of time for you. Launching an instance takes time because we launch an EC2 instance, associate the EVS volumes. So it really depends on the size of your disk, how long it takes. But this is a server which I launched previously. And this is a server where I configured the post-launch actions. So I installed SSM agent, I configured DR after migration, and I wanted to configure a CloudWatch event. So we could see like this. I managed to successfully install the SSM agent at a specific time. DR after migration was configured. This is MGN, and this is my DR after migration. I can, from here, go into my disaster recovery. It's a different service.
Right.
This is AWS Elastic Disaster Recovery. This is my replicated server. This is my disaster recovery site, and it's already ready for recovery.
That's super cool.
That's ready there. And then I have this create CloudWatch event, which didn't succeed. That can also happen. And then I have the issue here, why it didn't succeed. And that information is available right from MGN. If I want to drill down deeper, I can actually go into the Systems Manager console and see full information about this script that was run, descriptions, a lot of information. So that's a quick demo of MGN and the new launches.
That's super cool, Ahuva, because I'm not going to name any names, but back in the day when we were doing on-prem migrations, you would get an error like that, and it was like finding a needle in the haystack of what went wrong and why it failed and what part of it failed. Because at its core, it was block level replication, right? And you're just like, why did this not work? And you would have to run it again and again and again and keep failing until you figured it out. And I love that you have all this information right at your fingertips. And you know, it's not everything didn't fail. It's just one little part. And okay, well, I can reinstall that afterwards if I want to, right? You know, like you get so much information and action you can take on that. This is so cool.
For sure. And for all of these, you can also drill down into the job IDs. This is within MGN, this specific launch of this specific server with all of the logs, what happened, all the error messages. This is all available through the console.
I love it. Well, I really appreciate you sharing this with us. I mean, congratulations on the hard work that you and the rest of the team have done. I think this is awesome. I think our customers are really going to love it. This is going to make really large migrations so much easier. So thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Absolutely.
And
Thanks
everybody else, I appreciate you joining in. This has been AWS On Air. We'll be back soon.